And welcome back to Subculture. Well, one of the shows that's on at this year's Melbourne Fringe Festival that sounds absolutely amazing is a show called the Astonishing Comet Boombox. And to find out a little bit more about this show, we actually thought we would get one of the creators of the show on the phone to chat all about it. So, welcome to the program, Vivian Nguyen.
Hi, thanks Dave. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Now, Vivian, tell us a little bit about this show. What can people expect from the Astonishing Comet Boombox?
So I think what people can expect is a very, a very easy storyline about best friends turning into frenemies, but the only difference is that it's a human and an AI. And what people can expect is a lot of internet talk. It kind of travels and traverses through the 2000s all the way to the present moment and beyond. So it's an ancestral journey. It is very humanist. It's very funny and absurd. It involves an Esther Perel podcast to kind of talk about human and AI relationship dynamics.
Yep.
But it is going to be definitely very satirical and funny.
Now, you created this show with two other people. Tell us a little bit about where the idea first came about for this show.
So the other creators are Chen and Ruby, and this idea came actually from a very uneventful time where me and Ruby, we are producers as well, and we were writing a grant. And her Google Assistant started wanting to give us advice about our futures out of nowhere. And it was very unprompted. And it had this magical Harry Potter sound. And what happened was it was like a fortune teller. But the fact that it started talking to us without us asking for it made us really laugh. But we were wondering, what would this be like if X, Y, and Z? And we just started, I guess, brainstorming ideas, and that also came about around the whole ChatGPT kind of introduction of it too. And Chen and I are both playwrights, and we have worked together through programs, and he's extremely funny. He's also a rapper and a journalist, and so we kind of have this understanding of the internet in an extraordinary way, and we just literally in Fitzroy North in the library just started brainstorming the storyline. So it was a very in the moment collaboration.
The way that AI works sometimes can leave you pretty shaken. Like, I've had a couple of experiences using it as a journalist where it's completely surprised me. When that happened to you, what was that like? How did you feel personally, and how soon afterwards did the idea for the show come about?
I think because I've also had experiences with ChatGPT, for example, especially using it for marketing and copying and like for my own job. And I think the weird part of it is that it's so convenient, and it also affirms so many things. I don't think it ever disagreed with me.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the premise of it. And it doesn't know what I look like, but it just affirms anything that I say, any experience in such a human kind of a very empathetic way, for example, right? So we were asking, okay, what would this be like in a mother and daughter relationship where they can't see what it looks like? And we started traversing down a really taboo-esque relationship that kind of started off from a very dark comedic place. But it is really true. It doesn't know anything about the context of what's happening. And we kind of bounce from that premise, and from this childhood AI and our own relationship to technology, our addiction to technology, our codependence to it kind of sprawled into like, what would it be if this AI is this human's entire personality and its entire world? And that was kind of what's happening in the world at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's quite scary when you really think about it.
Yeah, definitely. And is there a bit of a personal touch in there as well? You mentioned about like the falling out of friends and what that can mean when you're suddenly not friends with your best friend anymore. So were you able to put a real personal touch in there as well?
I think everyone can really connect to a level of change.
Yep.
I think that's like a really universal theme, and I think what we wanted to talk about was that I think in our day and age, change is happening all the time, and how we react to that, especially relationship changes, like friendship as well, which is such a it's not spoken about. I think it's people are speaking about it more now than relationship change, like more friendships and friendship breakups, and what does that look like, and how do you navigate one? And I think me, Chen, and Ruby, we all have our own personal relationships with how we react to change, and I think, with the whole therapy speak about how to kind of deal with that, especially in the Esther Perel podcast section, it's going to really talk about how one reacts to that and how we try to stay constant. And as humans, do we actually, across the whole thing, do we actually know how to navigate change in the most healthiest way?
Yeah.
So far, no. So far, we are very bad at it. But I hope that this show kind of instigates this question as we go from, our own World Wide Web kind of beginning of the internet to the AI and what that looks like from beyond, because that's going to be staying for a very long time.
Yeah, you mentioned before too how yourself, Ruby, and Chen all come from kind of different interests and backgrounds, as you said, like journalism, rapping, and right through. Do you feel that put a little bit of a stamp on this show as well, with a little bit of genre blending?
100%. This is a mishmash of pop culture. We all love pop culture. We grew up with the internet in that kind of day and age. A lot of people who have, know about MySpace and Tumblr and the early days of YouTube and the beyond with in social media now, and what's happening with music and art, etc., will really relate to this show. It is a show that's definitely targeted towards millennials and Gen Zs.
Yep.
And I think both, so Ruby is a writer and a performer and dramaturg. Chen is a journalist and rapper. I'm a playwright and a performer, producer, and I also do other things as well. I work in fintech, in a startup company, so I totally understand that kind of, capitalistic world, and it's just extremely fascinating. So I definitely think it's a mishmash of pop culture that I'm extremely excited for everyone to see.
Now, the show kicks off tonight and runs through to the 21st. Do you have any plans outside of Fringe for this show for our listeners right around Australia?
Unfortunately, if we get funding, we would love to tour it around Australia. We would love that. We are just hoping, especially in art, in the industry, theatre especially, we don't have much funding, and it is hard to, this is being made independently, and we had support for kind of wavering fees, but it is dependent on support from funding to kind of get it going and to grow the idea. And I would love to, tour it around if we can.
Definitely. So how are you feeling with opening night being tonight?
I feel very excited. I'm very optimistic. I'm a very excitable person, so I'm excited for people to see something incredibly different. This show, as three of us really love theatre, and we have an incredibly experienced team on board. We have Sayesh, Eloise, Kent, we have Giovanna and Benjamin Sheen, all directors and designers who've worked across main stage and big projects, all coming together, and we all know what we're doing. It's all original music, and it has a blend of theatrical traditional formats, which you will see if you come to the show. It involves a lot of very fun camp-esque elements, but we also have a lot of digital elements, which is live feed and also projection as well. So it's a whole heap of stuff inside this 1 hour of show, and it's all performed by one person.
Awesome. Now, of course, the show for all of our listeners out there is on from the 17th to the 21st of October, 7 p.m. each night at the Bluestone Church Art Space. And if you want tickets, we'll have links to where you can grab tickets on our Subculture website. Vivian, to finish off, what would you like to say to people who are thinking about heading along and checking out the Astonishing Comet Boombox?
I want people to know that you will definitely walk out with an opinion, a really good laugh, and a really good experience. And that's a guarantee.
Awesome. Now, again, for all of our listeners out there, the Astonishing Comet Boombox is on from the 17th to the 21st of October, 7 p.m. each night at the Bluestone Church Art Space, and there is a link on our website to where you can grab tickets from. Vivian, thank you so much for chatting to us today. It's been an honour having you on the show, and we wish you all the best of luck with this amazing show.
Thanks, Dave. I really appreciate you having me. Thank you so much.